Welcome to Paul's Heart. I'm Paul, author of the book Paul's Heart Life as a Dad and a 35-year cancer survivor, available on Amazon. There are moments in life that divide everything into before and after. For many people, a cancer diagnosis is one of those moments. It has a way of stripping life down to its most basic truths: what matters, what doesn't, and what we often take for granted. Life after cancer is not simply about survival, it's about transformation. Before cancer, many of us move through life on autopilot. We plan for the future, we chase goals, build careers, accumulate things, and assume we have time. Time to call that friend, time to take that trip, or time to say, I love you. Cancer interrupts that illusion. It forces you to confront something we all know intellectually but rarely feel deeply. Time isn't guaranteed. And once you truly understand that, everything begins to change. One of the most profound shifts is how we think about quantity of life versus quality of life. Before cancer, the focus is often on longevity, living longer, achieving more, and adding years. But after cancer, the question becomes different. It becomes, what are those years made of? Is it a life filled with stress, rushing from one obligation to the next? Or is it a life filled with meaning, connection, and presence? Cancer has a way of teaching that more years do not automatically mean a better life. A shorter life filled with love, laughter, and purpose can be far richer than a longer life spent disconnected or distracted. It's not about how many days we are given, it's about how fully we live the days that we have. The realization often leads to another powerful shift: the reevaluation of what we value. Before cancer, it's easy to place importance on material possessions: houses, cars, titles, achievements. These things can feel like markers of success. But after cancer, their significance tends to fade, not because they're inherently bad, but because they're no longer enough. When you faced your own mortality, you begin to ask, will this matter in the end? Rarely is that answer a bigger house or a nicer car. Instead, what rises to the surface is something far more human: experiences, relationships, and memories. You begin to value time spent with loved ones over time spent accumulating things. A quiet dinner with family becomes more meaningful than a busy schedule. A walk, a conversation, a shared laugh, these become the moments that define life. Cancer sharpens your aware of presence. It teaches you to be where you are fully, not thinking about yesterday or worrying about tomorrow, but appreciating this moment right now. Because this moment is where life actually happens. And in that awareness, relationships deepen. You start to say the things you used to leave unsaid. You express gratitude more freely. You forgive more easily. You realize that the people in your life are not permanent fixtures. They are gifts. And like all gifts, they're meant to be appreciated while you have them. Another important change is how you approach fear and priorities. Before cancer, fear can hold us back: fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping outside of our comfort zones. But after cancer, those fears often lose their power. When you face something as serious as your own health and survival, smaller fears seem smaller. You become more willing to take chances, to pursue what truly matters, to let go of what doesn't. You might choose to spend more time with family instead of chasing endless work hours. You might take that trip you've been putting off. You might finally do something you've always wanted to do, not because it's practical, but because it brings you happiness. In many ways, life after cancer becomes more intentional. Now, that doesn't mean that it's always easy. There can be challenges, physical, emotional, psychological. There may be lingering uncertainty, follow up appointments, or moments of fear about the future. But alongside those challenges is a deeper awareness, a clearer perspective, and often a stronger appreciation for life itself. Gratitude becomes more than just a word, it becomes a daily practice. Gratitude for ordinary things, a sunrise, a meal, a conversation, a moment of peace. Things that once went unnoticed now feel significant. And perhaps one of the greatest lessons is this: life is not something to be postponed. We often live as if real life will begin later, after the next milestone, the next phase, the next achievement. But cancer teaches us that life is happening right now, not someday, not in the future, right now. So, what does life after cancer ultimately teach us? It teaches us to choose quality over quantity. It teaches us to choose people over possessions, to choose experiences over accumulation, to choose presence over distraction, and most importantly, to choose love, connection, and meaning over everything else. Because in the end, when we look back on our lives, it won't be the things we owned that defined us. It will be the lives we touched, the memories we created, and the love we shared. Cancer changes us. It has to. But within that change, there can be clarity, there can be purpose, and there can be a deeper, richer way of living. Not just surviving, but truly living. Until next time, this is Paul's Heart.